The MCAs hold a meeting to condemn the act, where the DP was blocked from going to Uganda.
Kwanza kabisa nataka niungane na wenzangu hapa. Nataka niungane na mtangulizi wangu mjumbe wa Sajo kwa wale maongeo ambao amenena mbele kwamba Wakenya, mimi nikiwemo ndani yake, tumeweza kukasirishwa na kitendo ambacho kilitendeka jana, na ningelipenda kueleza wale wapangaji ambao waliweza kupanga tendo hilo ni kwamba Wakenya wajafurahia ile mpango ambao mliweza ile kutunisha jina ya naibu wa rais. Amukuweza kutunisha Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, mliweza kutunisha ofisi ya urais katika Jamhuri ya Kenya. Urais katika Jamhuri ya Kenya iko kwa katiba yetu ya Jamhuri ya Kenya, ambapo hakuna wakati utasema rais Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta peke yake bila kutaja William Samoei Ruto, kwa sababu wao ni wawili kwa kitu kimoja. Kwa hivyo ninapoona vile mliweza kufanyia naibu wa rais, nataka nishukuru naibu wa rais kwa ile Mungu ambaye hapo naye. Kama angekuwa mwingine jana angeongea vibaya, lakini alinyamaza na akasema kwamba nawajie Mungu. Na muelewe ya kwamba mtu akisema leo nakuachia Mungu, usifikirie kwamba amesema anakuachia Mungu ambaye leo maana yake Mungu ni nani. Nataka niwaeleze kwamba mimi kama kiongozi mmoja kutoka Paris niliweza kukasirishwa na kitendo hicho, na ningelipenda kusema ya kwamba wale ambao implementers of Ruto'S hiyo wenye waliimplement maneno wao ndio wameweza kuharibu sheria ya Jamhuri ya Kenya. Wameharibu kwa sababu gani? Wakati ambapo unasema kwamba naibu wa rais hana haki ya kutembea nchi za kigeni ama kutoka nchi hii, ati lazima apitie mtu anaitwa head of public service. Huyo mtu nataka niulize maswali, huyo mtu ni nani? Mpaka imekifika kiwango ambacho yeye anatakiwa aombe ruhusa kwa mtu ambaye anaitwa Deputy President. Mwajiri wake mtu anakuja kupanga mabaya kuhusu mwajiri wake. Deputy President ni mwajiri wa huyu jamaa wa public service. Nataka nieleze ya kwamba mimi nataka nieleze nikiwa Kapaneta kwamba Kenya ilitendeka jana kwa Kenya wajafurahia. Na ningeliomba na rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya kwamba kuna watu ambaye anaendelea kuharibu legacy yako. Hatujawahi kusikia siku nyingine tangia wakati wa Kenyatta, Moi, Kibaki mpaka saa hizi tumepata aibu kubwa sana kwa nchi kama Kenya kutunisha naibu wa rais. Watu wadogo kusema kwamba naibu wa rais hataweza kutembea nchi za kigeni mpaka apate ripoti kutoka kwa mkuu wa baraza la mawaziri. Who is he? Ni nani alipatia huyu jamaa hiyo nguvu? Who gave this person powers ya kusema kwamba naibu rais aende mpaka apike report kwake? Deputy President kwa sheria anapika tu ripoti kwa rais. Is answerable to the president. Is boss ambaye ni rais. Ni lini imerudi mpaka ikawa head of public service? So wao nadhani sema ya kwamba tumekasirika na we are watching. Tunafuatilia maneno ambayo yanaendelea. Tumewahi kusikia maneno mengi, wengine wanasema naibu wa rais hataweza will not be in the ballot 2022. Na nikasema kwamba hii mtu anaitwa Atuola, nataka tueleze ni nini Atuola alikuwa anaongea kuhusu kwamba naibu wa rais atakuwa kwa debe 2022. Kidogo juzi akaongea kwamba Deputy President atakubali kushindwa kwa election ya 2022. Kidogo anasema Deputy President anatafuta silaha ili 2022 asiweze wakati anapokataa kura ndio aweze kushusha furugu katika Jamhuri ya Kenya. Mimi nataka kuuliza Kwa nini mtu kama Atuoli asishikwe na wekwe huko na aseme maneno yake, hii maneno anasema hakuna haki, hakuna ukweli kiasi gani? Hii ndio mpango ambayo tunaona mnataka kuchafua election ya 2022 kwa sababu kuna wengine hawataka kutoka kwa power. Let me tell you from Governor today, wananchi wako tayari, wamechoka na hii serikali ambayo hata mimi mwenyewe niko ndani, wamechoka. Wanataka election kwa elect their president 2022. So wala ambaye wanajaribu kupanga kutunisha na kwa rais, waje na waelezeni leo Wakenya wameamua. Na Wakenya hawakuamua kubikana. Wakenya wameamua kupiga kura, kuweka debe, kupitisha naibu wa rais William Samoei Ruto kwa rais ya Jamhuri ya Kenya. Na muelewe ya kwamba wala ambao mmeanza kushtuka sasa hivi kwa sababu mmeona kwamba Ruto atakuwa rais ya Jamhuri ya Kenya. Mmeanza kushtuka kwamba Ruto akikuwa rais, hizo ambao tulikuwa nafanya chabu yetu tunaweza kuchukua. Ruto hata wafuata. Nyinyi muendelee kufanya vituko yenu, lakini Ruto hata elibisha hata wafuata. Kwa sababu mpango yenu ni mpango ya mashetani. Na nataka nieleze na rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Katika mji kwa Biblia, ukienda kwa Biblia, mji wa Babylon, kuna mtu alikuwa anaitwa Nebukadnezar. Nebukadnezar alikuwa anatatiza watumishi wa Mungu. Alikuwa anasukuma watu na weka ndani watu hata kina Elijah. Mpaka mwisho Mungu kwa sababu ya tabia mle mbaya ambaye Nebukadnezar aliweza kuzungusha watoto wa Babylon, Nebukadnezar akapewa kutembea chini akikula nyasi. Nebukadnezar akapelekwa kuingia msituni. So mimi nataka nieleze rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Watu wasiharibu wewe. You are our president. Watu wasiharibu mamlaka ambayo uko naye na naibu wa rais. Wakenya tumewachafua, tunataka mtuelekeze katika nchi. Tunataka mtuelekeze katika nchi ambayo itastawi kwa mambo ya amani, mambo ya usalama na nchi ikae vile wengine wanakaa. Hatutakubali Kenya irudi kwa ile njia ya watu kutosana na ni watu wawili ambao wanataka kupaki katika power. Hatutakubali. Hii shida ambayo imetumika imesumbua watu katika Kenya kubwa ni kwa sababu hii manifesto ya naibu rais. Hii mambo ya bottom up imekuwa shida.
To express our disappointment with what we saw yesterday and with what we have read in the papers and with what we have heard on national news, that the deputy president of this country was humiliated in the scale in which he was humiliated. That the whole country was forced to watch news of humiliation visited on the second in command of this country. And that should concern everybody. That when we talk of the first in command, when we talk of, for example, Uhuru Kenyatta, we are not talking about Uhuru Kenyatta the person. We are talking about Uhuru Kenyatta the president and the aspirations of the whole country. When we also talk of the deputy president, you don't look at the deputy president as a person, just like that. You look at the deputy president as a leader who has risen through the ranks to be the second in command, through a majority suffrage, through an election. He has been able to inspire the country to the extent that he has risen to be the second in command, voted for by the people of Kenya. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Even when the Supreme Court of Kenya nullified the election, the people of Kenya still woke up and voted for a ticket that clearly had William Samoei Ruto as number 2. So when you visit humiliation to that kind of a leader, you are actually inviting a huge political moment to the country. And I don't know whether those who plan this kind of humiliation really understand what it means to have a country and what it means to ensure that a country lives in political tranquility. Because this kind of recklessness, this kind of carelessness is something that can easily plunge the country into unnecessary chaos. And that's why we are calling this press conference to actually once more, and we will not tire, from Baringo County Assembly, from Baringo County, and from the people of Baringo, we will not tire to tell this country that this country belongs to all of us, and our voices will always be part of the conversation of this country. That 2 or 3 people who today feel they are very powerful can sit down, caucus in a corner, caucus in a boardroom, and decide that, oh, you know, the deputy president cannot fly out, so and so can fly out, so and so can fly in, so and so cannot fly out. No! This country belongs to all of us, my friends. And apart from William Ruto being the deputy president of this country, even us, all of us, the elected leaders of this country, we are still citizens with the constitutional safeguards to enjoy fundamental rights of a citizen. We are human beings. William Ruto is a human being. We are human beings, guided by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which allows human beings to interact across the globe, which allows human beings to travel, the freedom of travel, to associate with fellow human beings, wherever they may be, except the prisoners and slaves. Free people, free human beings, enjoy the provision, the Universal Declaration of the United Nations, to travel everywhere, to travel all over the world. And I want to thank Justin Muturi, the Speaker of the National Assembly, because yesterday he rose above pettiness, he rose above gerrymandering, and he actually realized that there's a difference when when members of parliament are exercising their rights as private citizens, as individuals, and when they are enjoying those rights in official capacities. So what was so difficult with understanding that with William Ruto? So today, William Ruto, for example, we saw his daughter being married now to Nigeria. So William Ruto today, if for example something happens, he needs to go to Nigeria to actually visit his daughter. So he needs to be cleared by Joseph Kenya. Seriously? That is the kind of a country you now want us to have. So that now Joseph Kenya, he expects that William Ruto will be going there to kneel down to him, to clear him, to go and visit our relatives in Uganda, in Siebe, in Uganda. So our brothers and sisters in Uganda, William Ruto can now cross the border to see his cousins or to even see his investments, if there are any investments in Uganda. Really? That is the country that you want us to be proud of. So we condemn what happened. We will continue reminding you. When you brought PPI to Baringo County Assembly, we rejected it. When the High Court vindicated us, we celebrated it. You tear cast us here in the Assembly hoping that our voice will go down. It will not go down. You tear cast us when we celebrated PPI victory by the High Court hoping that our voices will go down. It will not go down. We will continue reminding you, Matiang'i, Kenya, Tuchu, Kepichu, Murate, we will continue reminding you every minute, every moment that this country belongs to all of us. And that you may scare, you may hope to use intimidation, you may hope to use humiliation, you may hope to use blackmail, but we will tell you that we will stand out in the face of all the plans and evil schemes that you are planning. We will continue to stand up. So that is our item number 1. Number 2, President William Ruto, wherever he is, to be strong. Be strong. What happened to you yesterday did not happen to you as a person. And they don't realize, you know, the problem with the schemers here, don't realize that this country is at the verge of a revolution, which they don't understand. That is why when you see Tuju making fun of a fundamental discussion as bottom-up approach, it's because he doesn't understand. How do you really expect Tuju to understand who enjoys our money, millions and millions of money that we are giving out as elected members of Jubilee. He sits down, writes letters, wakes up in the morning, he has billions and billions of money. How does he understand how a Mamamboka goes through today? I wish Tuju was in Kiaba, where I was. A revolution is happening in this country, and we want to tell the deputy president, it is really not about you. It is about millions and millions of Kenyans that you have inspired, and people like Tuju, who are living on their sunset years politically, may not understand. And we are told, by the way, in all revolutions that happen, whether it is the French Revolution, whether it is the American Revolution, whether it is the independence in this country, the powers that be those days, didn't see it coming. They didn't see the revolution coming. Even the Roman Empire revolution, even when Jesus Christ himself was in this world and telling them that he is the Son of God, the emperor, that the powers that be that time, even Herod, when Moses was telling him that God had sent him, they didn't see it. When Pharaoh was told that God has spoken, they made fun of the message of God that time. So this country is under a verge of a revolution. And by the way, it's not about tribal. It's not about because William Ruto is Kalenjin or Ndindi Nyoro is this. No, there's a unifying revolution, hustler revolution in this country. And I want to tell Kipichu and Matiangi, you better watch. Take time and watch from the comfort of your sons. Finally, is to the people of this country. We want to plead with hustlers all over this nation. Be calm. Be peaceful. We are suspecting an attempt to foment crisis, an attempt to foment mass protestations, an attempt to foment a civil strife or an uprising. I want to urge hustlers wherever they are, as William Ruto put it yesterday, tunamwachia Mungu, we want to ask you to be calm. Let's not fall into the trap of the evil schemers. Let us not fall into the trap of evil schemers. Let us not organize any demonstration anywhere. Let us be firm, let us remain in our houses, and we will not fall into the trap of these evil schemers. The idea is, you want to create a crisis like the one that we saw in South Africa, that Jacob Zuma was arrested. So now people demonstrate. We are more cleverer than that, my friends. We are more cleverer than that. We can see the scheme way back, way ahead. We can see your schemes way ahead. And I even don't understand, why are these guys forgetting that William Ruto today and Uhuru Kenyatta are beneficiaries of such an evil scheme? Because when Raila Odinga and other schemers felt that, let us have William Ruto go to ICC, with Uhuru Kenyatta go to ICC, so that I become president. Kenyans were clever. They saw that this is a scheme of some cowards who do not want to campaign and who do not want to go for serious elections and those kind of things. So we are coming back with another scheme again, which is not going anywhere. So we want to plead with our people that
for ridiculing, demeaning, and downgrading the presidency in this country. The deputy president yesterday was harassed, demeaned, and done things that are not worth being done to that office of the presidency. Remember, the presidency is one. When you talk about the presidency, it is the president and the deputy president. And I want to condemn that with the strongest terms possible, that it is not right. Remember, the presidency is a symbol of national unity. It is a symbol of peace. But what we are seeing is the opposite. And I want to urge the executive, that is the so-called Kieleweke, that they should stop these shenanigans and this habit of demeaning the deputy president. The deputy president is a leader by right, and we elected him as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And what was done to him is very wrong. And I want to urge the instruction of the President to stop those people who are acting on his behalf. Because I don't believe that those who are doing what they were doing to the Deputy President must have had instruction from the President himself or whichever power. Because you cannot demean a Deputy President. He is the second in command. And being the Deputy President is the principal assistant to the President. How do you stop him from going outside the country? And that is very wrong. And I want to urge the President to make sure that he takes charge of his people, because they are the ones who are actually messing up his legacy. We elected you not to come and fight your deputy. And at the same time, we as Kenyans know that there are those who don't want him to rise to the presidency. And that is because every Kenyan has the right to vie for that seat. And those issues of saying, oh, he was with people from outside Kenya, from where, he has freedom of association. And that is a right that is in place. It is in the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, that every person has the right of association. Let's not come up with stories of this guy is a terrorist. This guy is what? It's not a matter of having terrorists. That nonetheless you prove, because all through you have always said, oh, the deputy president is stealing, he is corrupt. But why don't you take him to court? If indeed he was working with people who are not who are security threat to this country, then you should tell us. You should not use propaganda. Let us be true and honest to ourselves, and let's do what is right. Otherwise, the deputy president is a great man. He is a leader with no match in this country. And I want to say that the president and your team, watch what you are doing. Don't bring this country to anarchy. Don't make this country fall down, because what you are doing is a clear indication that you don't want peace in this country. The Matiangis of this world, and the Tuchus of this world, and the Kibichos of this world, let us respect every Kenyan, and let's maintain peace. Let peace prevail in this country. Otherwise, when you continue doing what you are doing, I believe God in heaven is not asleep, and He will work on you, even if you have power that is beyond this world. But God, who is omnipresent, omnipotent, will work on you, and you will be like trash. Otherwise, I want to urge Kenyans to be calm and do everything possible to make sure that these people who are calling themselves deep state and planning the leadership of this country in boardrooms, let's make sure that all these guys go home and they go and live in peace, and leave Kenyans to enjoy their life with the bottom-up economy. I know once we have the deputy president being the president of this country, we will have better lives, we will have money in our pockets. Not these thieves who are just doing projects